And we're back on the canopy. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, isn't it? Yeah, Saturday morning.
It's a morning.
Yeah, well, it's about lunchtime now because we've actually been cracking on, just finishing off the welding to get the basic structure of the canopy done. And what we're doing now is we've clamped it down to the tray because, to be honest, it's the flattest surface we've got now because we want to make sure there's a little bit of twist in it.
It's going to fit, isn't it?
And it's
where it's going.
This is where it's going to end up being housed. So, space-wise, it's awesome because we've gone with just basically a square box. A few reasons. One reason, we don't have a plate bender, sheet bender, do we? Big enough to start doing bends without going someone and then paying someone to do it. And you know, obviously, what we're like. We try to build everything that we can ourselves.
And we're cheap.
And we're cheap. Because so far, guys, the cost of the aluminium so far, because often people ask us, you know, what's all this costing? The cost of the aluminium, which is basically going to form all of the frame, not the sheets, just the frame, cost me 168 quid plus the VAT. So that's what's so far. Then obviously on top of that, I'm going to have all the sheeting to make it all up. But space-wise is phenomenal because what we're going to do is we're going to have two sides. We're going to have a door on either side, and again, plans for that have changed a little bit today. This door's going to open vertically, so it's going to provide some sort of rain cover if it was raining. And in here, we're fitting now basically our sort of struts on the bottom, and we're actually positioning the struts to help basically size-wise, so they fit things like the wolf boxes, and they're going to brace them and then just put some straps over the top. We've left enough space to slot the cooker, and then behind here we can actually get 6 wolf boxes. We can get them, stack them 3 high. So depending on the journey, I could have 1 wolf box, 2 wolf boxes, 6 wolf boxes on this side alone, and then there's still a bit of space left down the side here for some storage, and there's a bit more space left at the front here. And even with 3 wolf boxes high, there's still enough room for things like a table, etc. on the top.
But space-wise, it's massive.
Space-wise, it's huge. It's not till you start putting everything in, you just realise how much space.
But unlike the tub, it's like I can see everything.
Yeah, everything's there.
Open the gull wing, and you're like, everything's there.
And you'll know, guys, if you watched the round sort of chat that we did about the Pyrenees trip, one of my pet hates was wolf boxes, primarily because I used them for everything, was constantly opening and closing them and trying to work out where things were. I'm still going with wolf boxes, but these are going to hold stuff that I'm hardly going to use. They're going to be stuff like the recovery stuff that we won't hopefully need to use, spare parts, and then obviously maybe, you know, a box full of food,
not day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, because the other side I like to stick a set of drawers alongside the fridge, so that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to be accessing every day. Now the other side, we've had a bit of a change of heart on, so I'm going to take you around the corner and we'll have a look at that.
Swap sides.
Hey, just the reverse. So now on this side, me and Paul were having a bit of a run around this morning in the Ford KA, and the
beast as it's known.
The beast. And Paul suddenly suggested the idea for the door. And funny enough, I'd thought about this and I've been trying to weigh up would there be any advantage to it. But what we're thinking about for this side is the door is actually going to swing out to the side. The reason being is then on the back of that door we can make a lot more use of storage space. Not for anything heavy, but this is going to be like the catering side, because the fridge is going to go here on a set of rails or a set of
sliders.
Sliders is the word. And on the back of that door then we're going to put a fold down table, and then you could have all sorts of things like, it sounds silly, but you could have like a spice rack, or you could have all your condiments or your plates held on the back,
even
or
just your cups.
Yeah, so all the stuff then that once the table's down, you've got access to all these little bits and pieces on the back of the door. Plus you've got a great big windshield now to protect you if it is blowing a bit of a gale.
So you can just park it into, well, you park this bit into the wind, can't you? And you know what it's like trying to do with a work a camp stove in the wind, isn't it? It's like
pain in the arse.
Even just lighting them is a pain. So you've got
so it might put a little gas strut on it so that the door doesn't get blowing open or closed, or a little latch just to lock it off. And where I'm stood, the awning will come over the top anyway, so if it is raining or drizzling, I'm still basically covered while the cooking goes ahead out there. Plus then any sort of smokes and grease and everything coming off the cooker isn't going directly and messing up the awning. So we've obviously got more storage, so the fridge is going to go here. There's obviously space above the fridge if you wanted to pile stuff on there, you know, temporarily till you needed to get into the fridge.
Drawer there, didn't you?
Yeah, I think some sort of drawer system here, maybe a couple of drawers high, and then there's more storage on the top. We're going to size out where we put these braces in the bottom to gain, so that they would brace wolf boxes if we did want to put wolf boxes on this side. So yeah, there is just shed loads of space. And then bear in mind, I've got no back seats in from the previous kind of incarnation of this vehicle, so I've still got all of that storage space that I can be using. And
this is just so light, isn't it now?
Yeah, I mean, this thing is light as a feather. There's no weight to this at all.
I reckon the whole lot's going to weigh, I don't even think it's going to weigh 20 kilos.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I think once everything's, all the bits are in, all the watts, I think you'll be 30 kilos.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah, it's come out brilliant.
Yeah.
So we're going to carry on there, just tack this up while it's in situ, get it tacked up, and then basically take it off. And then obviously once that's all, we're going to measure up again, just recheck all our measurements for the actual, we'll get all these side panels cut to size, and then we're going to glue and tack them. We've got a special double bonding adhesive, haven't we?
Some sort of aluminium adhesive.
Yeah,
we'll give it a go.
Yeah, I mean,
we've got rivets.
It wasn't cheap stuff, but on eBay I managed to get someone that bought it and not used it, so it's £100 worth of adhesive for 20 quid. And the thing is, the gun to use it's going to cost you about another 25-30 quid.
You can use it without the gun. Just use it as like a syringe.
Try and squeeze it out. Yeah.
It will mix them in the.
Yeah, and it comes out.
It's not as easy, but it does work.
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
Because there's an advantage in it to not having too much weld bonding, because it will crack as things vibrate with aluminium, isn't it? So if you this frame's welded, so it's rigid, and if you then weld all the outer up, the whole thing's rigid. It's got no flex in it. Yeah. So if you rivet and glue the outer, it gives the whole lot a bit of movement. So because you know the vibration just from being off road and flexing, and you've got weight in it, and you might have stuff on top. Yeah. You want that bit of flex in it so that it doesn't crack. The glue will give it that bit of movement. I mean, it's only a tiny amount, but if you think you've got it all rigid, and the welds will get metal fatigue and they break. Yeah.
So we'll have it. But that's why chassis crack on trucks as well, because when they built them, they didn't have any flex in, or they'd made them too rigid to make them drive better. But you take them off road, and then the chassis starts cracking. And it's just metal fatigue. Yeah. So you're cancelling out the metal fatigue in it.
Right, let's crack on.
Yeah, let's get some bonding done. Right, come on.
And as if by magic, ta-da! So guys, it's only a quick video today. We weren't going to bore you with watching more welding. As you can see, we've basically pieced it all together. I say we pieced it all together. We put it together, and Paul's just spent hours doing all this welding. But it's looking absolutely fab, and it is solid. It's such a solid structure. It's pretty much square. There's a slight little kick in it, but what we're going to do is, before we put the side panels on, which obviously are going to be cut perfectly square, is we'll basically put it on the back of the Trayback, fix it down, because we've tried doing this already. We basically just used ratchet straps, and it just takes that little kind of centimetre of twist out of it. Then we'll put the panels on the side. So next step now is we're going to basically pop over to our friends at Spectrum Alloys, and we're going to get all these panels cut to size. We're going to remeasure everything. We've actually got tolerances of about 2 mil, so we're really pleased. It's come out really well. So we'll get all these panels done, have the door cut to size. Now we've already made the aluminium frame, so you can see that slight kind of kick as I take it out. But basically we're going to have one door on one side is going to open vertically, and then the door on what we're going to call the catering side is going to open like that. The reason being is then I can actually use the back of the door as additional storage. So we've already got the hinges on order to come for that. We've got this Permabond engineering adhesive, which is a 2-component structural acrylic adhesive. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically rivet and use this bonding when we put those panels all around the outside to finish the box off. So yeah, it's all coming on brilliantly well. We're really pleased with, I say, we've put everything in here so that we can actually take 9 wolf boxes if we wanted to, or as many wolf boxes as we want. I'd like to put a set of sort of drawers on the side alongside the fridge on a set of sliders. So come along really well. So next time in the video we're going to basically get these panels and get them all glued on, and then you'll actually start seeing it on the back of the truck.